Hey guys, my name is Sunil Kumar and in this video I'll be going over how to use Clay. This is a complete beginner's guide on using Clay. First of all, who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Sunil Kumar and I run an outbound lead generation agency focused on generating more qualified leads and meetings for B2B companies. Here are some results we've produced. Over 200k in pipeline value for this client generated in 7 days because our system produced him 17 qualified opportunities in 7 days. Over 159 qualified sales opportunities leading to roughly $4.77 million in pipeline value being generated. 37 qualified sales opportunities produced from just 2,217 outreaches. 79 qualified opportunities produced from 4,160 leads being contacted. 143 new leads generated from contacting 6,896 leads. That 16,553 emails sent includes follow-ups. So that's proof that this system actually does work. The objective of this guide is to give you an introduction to how this tool works and some immediate use cases that you can start off with to start improving your workflows and start seeing some ROI immediately. This can be especially useful if you are an outbound agency owner who's seeking a more efficient tool to enrich client data at scale, reduce manual research time, and deliver better results faster. If you're an agency or SaaS founder or executive who's looking to build predictable, scalable outbound pipelines without hiring large SDR teams, without having to scale headcount, then this could be something really useful for you. If you are a B2B company leader, CEO, founder, or owner who wants to modernize your sales processes and compete more effectively in crowded markets, then this is something that could be again very valuable for you. If you're a sales and or marketing leader tasked with improving conversion rates, personalizing outreach at scale, and making data-driven decisions about your GTM strategy, this could be useful once again. Whether you're just starting to explore sales automation or looking to replace outdated tools and workflows, I'll show you how Clay can help you find better prospects, enrich them with relevant data, and reach out to them with personalized messaging all in one integrated platform. This could be also very useful if you want to become a GTM engineer, because Clay can be a really useful tool to learn and add to your stack. What is Clay? Well, Clay is a data orchestration platform, to put simply, which allows you to connect 150 plus different providers together, allows you to do AI-powered research and personalization, plus run workflow automation. You can use it to do CRM enrichment and maintenance, time sourcing and territory planning, inbound lead enrichment and routing, intent-based outreach flows, AI-powered outbound campaigns, and account-based managed marketing campaigns, as you can see here. Now, let's talk about the basics of Clay, right? Let me give you a basic walkthrough of how Clay works. Now, Clay is like a spreadsheet tool, right? It operates like a spreadsheet tool such as Google Sheets or Excel, meaning you have workbooks under which you can build tables. Now, to create a new workbook, you go here, go click new, and then underneath you'll see workbook or folder. You can create a folder and then create a workbook inside that, or just hit workbook and then boom, you have your new workbook ready to go. And once you create your new workbook, it's going to look like this. A new workbook is going to look like this, where everything is blank. And if you don't know where to start, let me give you some pointers. Now, the first thing you need to know about is sources. Now, you can create a blank table or start off with using one of the templates that Clay provides. But before you go ahead with that, it would be useful or it would be advantageous to know about the sources as well better. Of course, you can add a description about what this workbook is all about, what's the purpose of the workbook, and things like that for later reference, right? Basically like notes. And then hit save changes. You can add tags, create new tag, and be like for client X or for marketing or for inbound leads or whatever, right? And then select a color for inbound leads, and then let me select color tangerine, and then boom, I save. All right, and then this, all the tables that you create will pop up here, by the way. So let's go back to sources. Sources are basically the foundation upon which you build your clay tables from, right? You need an input, you need a base list from which you can start off with. A base list can be a list of companies that you want to enrich further that you already have, from your CRM or whatever. Or let's say you pull some leads or a list of companies from Crunchbase and you want to enrich that further. You can do that here. Or let's say you exported a list from Apollo or Sales Navigator and then you want to enrich that further. You could do that here once again. There are so many different sources you can use. You could add a list of local businesses and then try to enrich that. The use cases are endless, of course, right? Now, you can also use Clayzone native features as well to find people, to find companies, to find job postings, or also find local businesses as well. You could import from a CSV, meaning if you have a list in the format of a CSV that you want to enrich, you could upload that as well, or import from CRM as too. You could import from CRM as well. There are various different sources that are out there that you can use, but I do not want to overwhelm you. So let's start with really simple, something that's really simple, right? That is find people. Let's hit find people. Let's say I want the owners, founders, and CEOs of construction companies in the US that have 2 to 10 employees. So first thing we need to start off with is company attributes, right? And then go to industries to include and type in construction. Now, by the way, this is based off of LinkedIn data, right? So yeah, you go to company sizes, select 2 to 10. I would also want self-employed because I'm looking for small construction firms here. Basically, you go to job title, and then you go to job titles to include, and then you can type in the titles: owner, founder, CEO. Now you can go to location next, and then type in United States, or select from the drop down menu. Now, what are the other filters that are available to us here? You could filter by seniority, right? If they are owner level seniority, or partner level, or C-suite level, or VP level, or director level, or manager level, or senior level, basically all of these, right? You could filter by job functions. May that be, you can filter by whether they are in business development, or whether they are in an administrative role, or in a customer support role, or in the finance role, or whatever that you want to select. You could also add titles that you want to exclude. So yeah, you could filter by experience, filter by languages, the education, that is the school that they went to, or you could also use this to enrich a list of companies that you already have, right? You could import that as a clay table and then get started from there, or just paste in the company LinkedIn URLs, or the websites, or the Sales Navigator URLs, or Sales Navigator company IDs here, and then Clay will take care of the enrichment for you. You can go for past experiences. I wouldn't really recommend that. And you can limit results as well, how many results you want, right? Let's say you want only like 1000 results. You can use the limit function and then limit it. Okay, now we've built this. Hit continue and hit import to a new table. Now what this is going to return to us is the company name, first name, last name, full name, job title, the location they are in, the website of the company, and the LinkedIn profile URL, all of which are really useful data points, right? You can enrich this further, right, to get work emails, mobile phone numbers, and things like that. Now let me show you how to export this data. You go to hit export and you can download that as a CSV, or send this table data to another table, or export to your CRM, or send to your sequencer. Let's look at all export options here. You can move the data to these CRMs or these databases, or export the messages to Clay's own new native feature sequencer, or download it as a CSV as well. The easiest way to export the data would be as a CSV. Now I don't want to complicate it and overwhelm you with a lot of information, so let me just show you the CSV part. Right, you just hit download as CSV, and then the export will get processed, and then you can save it, and then boom, there you go. You have now downloaded your CSV. Now that covers how to use the find people function to build your first table. Now here are some high value use cases that you can start off with and are pretty simple as well. The difficulty level is not too high when it comes to these enrichment functions. You can use waterfall enrichment to find work emails or personal emails or mobile phone numbers, so that you get better coverage with your data. Waterfall enrichment is the process where you use multiple data providers to try and find a verified contact that you can actually reach out to. You can also use ClayAgent for research. You can use this to find funding data. You can use these about two functions for, that is waterfall enrichment and ClayAgent for research, to do CRM enrichment. Basically you can use Clay to do CRM enrichment as well, or data cleanup too. You can dedupe, normalize data, and more. With that being said, let's talk about ClayAgent. ClayAgent is one of the most powerful use cases that Clay offers, right? Where it's basically Clay's built-in AI research agent. It's like a smart assistant that can browse the internet, read websites, extract specific information, and bring back exactly what you need for each lead or row. Here's an example workflow, right? Putting everything to use, such as ClayAgent. So I think you may have seen a glimpse of this before, but yeah. So let's say we have only the company, the name of the company, and we need to find the domain, and then we want to find the three potential ICPs that we can reach out to, and do a little bit more advanced research on that. Well, this workflow basically does it, right? It takes the company name as the input, raw company name. We can't say, hey, I saw Stripe Inc. and I thought I would reach out. You can't say that. It's going to look really robotic and crappy. So what do we do first? We first use Clay's normalized company name feature to normalize the company name so that it looks natural. So we got it normalized as Stripe, and then once the normalization is done, Clearbit is going to try and find the domain of the company. It has found the domain of the company, stripe.com, and then Claygen has done research and found three potential ICPs that this company could potentially reach out to or target. And then, based on all this data, it's going to also create three new campaign ideas, you know, that they can use for their outbound efforts. Outbound idea 3 to outbound idea 1, 2, and 3, right? So this is a potential use case. If you're running an agency, this could be really useful, right? And basically that covers the example workflow that I wanted to share with you today. Now, things to keep in mind. The most important thing is credit/cost management. Clay operates on a credit system, and each data enrichment action costs credits. So different data providers have different data costs, right? Different credit costs. AI research, Claygen that is, can consume credits very quickly. You can burn through your budget fast if you're not careful. What do you do here? You start with small test batches first, 50 to 100 records. Run the enrichment on 50 to 100 records first. See the quality of data, see the quality of the output, and then based on whether you like it, whether it meets the standard or not, decide if you want to scale it or not. Use waterfall enrichment. When you're using waterfall enrichment, try low cost sources first, and then the expensive ones as backup. This way you can reduce the cost a little bit. Monitor your credit usage dashboard regularly, right? You don't want surprises where you're like, damn, 40,000 credits gone? That too in just 30 minutes? No, you don't want surprises like that. So keep monitoring your credit usage dashboard regularly. Set up conditional logic so you only enrich high priority leads. Go for API wherever you can, because the API cost, when you do it via API, the cost will be lower, compared to directly using credits, especially for waterfall enrichment and Claygen as well. Data quality is more important than data quantity. The good old quality over quantity. More data doesn't always mean better results. Enriching every possible field is tempting, but often unnecessary. Focus on the data points that actually impact your messaging or qualification. Over enrichment slows down your workflow and just wastes credits at the end of the day. So what do you do here? Define your ICP clearly first. Only enrich fields that inform personalization or disqualification. Use filters early in your workflow to eliminate bad fit leads. The learning curve is real, by the way. Clay is powerful but complex, right? The spreadsheet-like interface sometimes can be overwhelming at first. There's formula logic, API integrations, and conditional branching. This all takes time to master. There's a difference between making it work and making it efficient, right? Just because it works doesn't mean it's efficient, basically. So what do you do here? Well, you start with Clay's pre-built templates first, right? See how it works, play around with the templates, use the templates for 10 or 15 rows, and then, test it out. Build one simple workflow end to end before getting fancy, right? Don't try to automate everything on day one. Garbage in means garbage out. That's point number 4. Your results depend on your input data quality. If you start with bad company names or outdated lists, enrichment won't fix that. AI personalization is only as good as the data it has to work with, right? Wrong targeting means wasted credits plus poor results. So what do? Clean your data first before uploading to Clay. Validate your source list first. Use Clay's deduplication features, the normalization features. Test with a known good sample before bulk processing. So that covers point number 4. Point number 5 is AI personalization needs guardrails. Clayagent is powerful, but it can go off the rails sometimes because AI can hallucinate or make up information. Generated emails might sound robotic without proper prompting, or it could sound repetitive as well. Without clear instructions, results can be inconsistent. What you do here, you write specific detailed prompts for AI tasks, always review AI outputs before sending at scale, create templates with variables instead of fully generated AI generated content, use AI for research/data extraction, not always for final copy. Keep these things in mind because you don't want to, use hallucinated data, right? Integration limits and API rate limits. Every tool you connect has its own constraints. CRMs have API rate limits, how many records you can push per hour. Some integrations are native, other integrations require webhooks or Zapier or Make or Anyden, right? Bulk operations might hit timeout issues. So what do you do here though? How do you solve this? First, check the rate limits of your downstream tools. Schedule large updates during off hours. Use Clay's built-in delays and batching features. Test integrations with small batches first. These are all solutions to the problem or constraint. Maintenance and monitoring. Set it and forget it, but not completely, right? Now, workflows can break if APIs change. Data sources sometimes may go down or return errors. Your ICP might revolve, requiring workflow updates. Sometimes the cost of the credits may increase. So, you need to keep all those things in mind. Monitor the workflows time to time. Set up error workflows or set up error notifications. Review failed enrichments. Audit your workflows. And then keep backup waterfall enrichment sources as well so that you're prepared. Now, the next one is the personalization paradox. This is very, very important, right? Hyper personalization can backfire. I don't care if it sounds repetitive. Hyper personalization can backfire. This is something that a lot of people need to realize. They get to realize this. Mentioning too many details, specific details, can feel creepy. It can sound insincere or robotic as well. Prospects can tell when it's automated, even if it's good, right? You don't want to sound robotic or artificial. What do? Well, you find the balance between relevance and stalkerish. Use one to two strong personalization points, not 10. Make sure your personalization actually ties to your value prop. A/B test different levels of personalization. Test what works, right? That's how we solve it. The next one is ROI measurement. You do that from day one. Track what matters. Credit spent per qualified lead, enrichment accuracy rates, reply rates and conversion metrics, time saved versus manual processes. Set baseline metrics before implementing Clay, right? Track cost per lead and cost per meeting if you're running outbound and things like that. Document time savings for your team. Calculate ROI. Do not just go off the feeling that it feels faster or whatever, right? Don't rely on emotion. Rely on numbers, data, and logic, basically. If you need any help with Clay or outbound or your GTM motion in general, then use the link below to book a call. I'm happy to guide you through any questions that you may have. I did create this guide as just an introduction because I can't cover everything in one single video, right? It's going to take too long. There's so much. And new features keep coming up every single day. So once again, if you need help with anything specific about Clay or outbound or your GT motion in general, click the link below to book a call. Thank you and have a good one.